As part of your final assignment and project that you're submitting in order to be accepted into the program, there's a little phrase here I wanted to call attention to. It says, your project must be a pixel-perfect recreation of the demo. What does that mean? One way to check if you're pixel-perfect is by looking at these assets. Within the assets folder, there's another folder called Final Screen PNGs or PNG files. And what you can do is download these files I have a sample project that was created, and I'm going to double check and see how close I am. So I go back and grab my images and pull them into my sketch file. Now the file that's created should be exactly the same. The measurements look right. How can I check the pixel perfection? By making it transparent a little bit, we begin to be able to see the differences. In this case, we can see that the icons are a different size and different shape than the original. We can see that the text is close, but it seems like the letter spacing is a little bit messed up on the first line. The fish looks great, the button looks great. Then in the footer, you can see that the left alignment of the text is incorrect. The rest of it looks pretty close. The header, there's the alignment issue as well. And if you're having a hard time seeing, you can toggle on your image by clicking back and forth. The movement between will show you some of those errors a little bit more obviously. We are not as concerned about minor differences in the cloud shape, for example, or even something so small as the fish. The difference here, you can see a slight shift in the shape of the fish so that it doesn't quite align on the left, and the bubbles are slightly off. This is very close and would probably pass, but this text being so different in size and shape on this first line would need to be addressed. The icon sizes here and their shapes should be addressed. Very slight differences in the text here are not going to be a big issue. And if the photo doesn't align exactly, that's going to be okay. But big shifts in location of elements, for example in the spot on, are something that we're going to be concerned about. Another way to double check your work is to check on the alignment between pages that should look identical in most respects. So for example, this create account page and the email empty create account state should be the same. If you hold your function key on a Mac and then switch between screens with the arrow keys, you can see where the button is jumping and the form field is shifting and moving on to the next page. There's some differences there. Then the next page you see the shift between the password cursor and what the password stars, and then the form field jumps above the line. So if you use the function key and go with your arrow keys when you're focused on a single artboard, it will shift between those artboards so you can see some of the differences. You can do the same thing in InVision with your arrow keys moving between screens, and that's a good way to catch some of these differences. Those are things you should be watching for before you submit your final project.